Greetings in the matchless name of Jesus Christ. This morning I am here to speak a little on the topic setback. Your setback is for a comeback, right? And in that I can break it down a little to say your setback is for you to get up, right? Because in life situations do happen when you're trying to progress, be progressive when you're trying to progress. And it's as if while you're progressing, you have led to a place of regret. But you must know that regressing can also put you at a place of progress. You must learn to regress before you can progress, right? So yes, so our topic or story will be coming from the Joseph story. And in speaking about Joseph's story, we all should know by now the things that Joseph has been through in his life. We know that Joseph has been through a lot pertaining to his setbacks, always become his comebacks, right? If you go through the book of Genesis, you would have realized and know that in Genesis 37, God reveals to Joseph that he will have glorious future, right? And it continues where it was as if his brother. Let me just go into the introduction before I reach there. So Joseph was a youngster, right? And Joseph he was overconfident, and he was loved by his father because he was 11th son of his he was 11th son of his father Jacob, and he was loved by his father because he was born in old age, and Rachel was there as well, and so forth, right? But seeing that Joseph was favoritized by his father, he was given gifts like he had a goat. His father gave him a goat and so forth, and his brother was envious of him and so forth. So they would not do anything right when it comes down to Joseph. They will plot up against him. They will do things that is seems as if it's not even his brother them, you understand. But this is to say that if your setback is for your comeback. Look, as it relates to Joseph's story continues in Genesis 39. The Lord was with Joseph, right? And also said that in Genesis 39, 2 to 9, he was also Joseph. God makes Joseph to prosper in Potiphar's house, right? He prospered in Potiphar's house, even though there was plotting and there was so much struggle, so much setback he had gone through. God allowed him to prosper. The Lord was with him in Genesis 9:39. Then Joseph's soul was sold to the Egyptians in Genesis 37. You know that I might not saying it in the order, but I guess you guys would have come across. If you want to know it in depth, you would have to take out the Bible and read from Genesis. You can start from Genesis 37, and you'll find out his story, what Joseph have been through. Right? He was thrown into prison in Egypt, and then he was made ruler over the in Egypt over Pharaoh, under Pharaoh rule, right? So yes, let me begin. I am reading from the Life Application Bible, and I am reading from Genesis 37 1 to 11. So Jacob settled again in the land of Canaan, where his father had lived. This is the history of Jacob's family. When Joseph was 17 years old, he often tended to his father's flock, with his half brothers. The sons of his father's wife, Bilhah and Zilpah. But Joseph reported to his father some of the bad things his brothers were doing. Now Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children because Joseph had been born to him in the old age. So one day he gave Joseph a special gift, a beautiful robe, right? But this brothers but his brother hated Joseph because of their father's partiality. They couldn't say a kind word to him. One night, Joseph had dreamed and promptly reported the details to his brother, causing them to hate him even more. Listen to his dream, he announced. We were out in the field tying up bundles of grain. My bundle stood up, and then your bundles all gathered around and bowed low before it. So you are going to be king, are you? His brothers taunted. And they hated him all the more for his dream and what he had said. Then Joseph had another dream and told his brothers again about it. Listen to this dream, he said. The sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed low before me. This time he told his father as well as his brothers, and his father rebuked him. What do you mean? His father asked. Will your mother, your brothers, and I actually come and bow before you? But while his brothers were jealous of Joseph, his father gave it some thought and wondered what it all meant. Alright, so I'm going to take up the NIV version. That was the NLT version. I'm going to take up the NIV version. And it reads, Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, and in the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending to the flock with his brothers, the son of Bilhah and the son of Zilpah, his father's wife, and he brought their father a bad report about them. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak kind words to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaves rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. His brother said to him, Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us? And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. Listen, he said, I had another dream. And this time the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me. When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down in ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. So that's two versions of Bible, the NLT and the NIV. So this morning I am saying that every setback is for a comeback, right? A setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback. This I can say you can refer to it as victory, because while what the enemy, like the scripture says, what the enemy meant for evil, God will work it out for our good, right? So then and there we won the victory, right? So therefore, in the scripture, would have realized that Joseph's brothers were so envious of Joseph because of Joseph's dreams, right? Joseph was, I believe that Joseph was chosen by God, right? And if you are if you have read and listened to the scripture while I was reading, you would have understand that yes, it was some real hate in brother them have up, some real jealousy in brother them have up against him because of his father and the preference of him getting the dreams and so forth, and the dreams them in working a him favor and thing. You understand? So here what go happen now. In the same stance though is as if Joseph now become a great enemy to them now. So them decide say, alright then me I go just set him up, because me want him to fail, so me go set him up for him fail, because at the end of it we want to make sure that we want to make sure that alright then we are going to see people are going to see we over him more. And so you understand like that. So it's like in brother them now want to set up Joseph in a way, so them take him now and them throw him in the pit and sitting so you know so the Egyptian people them would have passed and something, and they sit there where they can see him and capture him and something and take him to turn him slave. Right, so them take him and them throw him down in the pit, in the cistern and something, and him down there, and them left and them plot up against him and them cut the goat and stuff for it and put on them and tell the father say Joseph dead and something like that, if I can remember right. And at the end of it again, it's like it come to a point where the Egyptian was passing by, and they saw him in the pit, and they took him up and so forth and stuff. The brother them supposed to happy and want to say, alright, then he will become slave now. So then we have the father, and then we have whatever they need and something, right? So in this sense, no, Joseph was taken, and after thrown in the pit, he was actually taken out by the Egyptians, and they thought that he would have been slave and so forth. But guess what? What the enemy meant for evil, God has worked it out for your good, right? So God revealed himself to Joseph, right? And what his future will be like, right? So yes, Joseph been through it, right? He had been through it. And so for us as Christians, so for us as individuals, so for us as people on earth, people around, we have some situations may come up against us, some problems may come up against us, some things where we feel like say, yo, we not gonna come out of them and them and something, and not gonna leave with none at all, because guess what? It's the things that people plot up against us. So you understand? So in a place like yo, you did it, and yeah, go through and something, man. You know, do nobody nothing, and them just turn around and them start to eat on you because they see your great. They see God light a shine. They see the pressure. The God just a elevate you in front of them, and then keep eating and eating and eating. Then become envious of you and so forth. And might be in the sense of that person who they would want to treat them nice and something start to treat you nice and all of them. There's something they say. It's not that the case. They know it's like them become jealous. Them become envy and then plot up against it. But let me say this. When I say plot up against it, I don't literally mean they are going to do works where they are going to go into deep things and just go ahead and just plot up against it. It can mean that they speak bad about you. Whatever they speak about you, it starts to affect you in the atmosphere. Because when they speak out things in the atmosphere, it always become what you call this word? It will be affected you in some sense, because guess what, the devil use it to play upon it and something or whatever. So what we know as the persons we're in, the persons what start bad about, we must know as said to ourselves, say, yo, these are the things that are saying and so forth, and we not go live in this or whatever. We're gonna try to work otherwise. We're gonna try to put ourselves out there where we can make a U-turn from whatever the people they must say or whatever. Understand what I say? So in this case, Joseph was sent to through the pit, so he come from the pit now, then send him in there Egypt, and then from there, so now he was there, and then after which he was sent to the house of Potiphar, which Potiphar's wife was there trying to plot against him again there. So see, that's a next plot. So see, each plot that person's plot against your life, it can mean that God will elevate you even more, because there was a next plot when Potiphar's wife was trying to be there and they was trying to get up on him and so forth, and he escaped from it and something, and him run and something. You see, in life, sometimes when you see them something have come before you, when people start to plot against you and something, when people start to think that, when people start to do your things and something, and when they want to set up trap against you, sometimes you don't have to defend yourself. Sometimes you must just allow the Lord to defend you, and you just take up yourself and run. Take whatever God give it and run from it. And I say you're afraid, you're not afraid, but it's just that you don't want to be in the position where you become we call the word there. When you don't want to be in a position the way where people start to discriminate you, your reputation spoil. You just take yourself and run from it, because God is still there, But you see, sometimes in life, while God is there in silence, persons will want to do things and them try to spoil a reputation, but the best thing for you to do is run from it. Right? Run from it. Don't allow it to take dominion over you. Don't allow it to rule over you. Don't allow it to reign over you. So things that person may say about you, negative things, don't allow them to reign over you. Don't allow them to rule over you, because if they do, then you are going to be in trouble. Right? Because then you're going to lead yourself into a place of depression. You're going to lead yourself where your reputation spoil up, and then something, you're going to lead yourself to a place where you don't know what else to do, because every negative word that is spoken over you is like it starts to take control. It starts to be over you. It starts to it just tear you apart. It's a build up in your heart. It build hatred, jealousy. It all build all of these type of things, and you come and you start to hate the person because they start to think bad, them start to talk bad and something, so you start to hate the person and you start to hate them and something. But guess what? When you hear a person speaking, you say, God, just cry out to God and say, God, you're listening and you hear, because you are God and you hear everything and you know everything. So you must know that you must save me through all of this, because you have called me. These are the things you have to do. You have to be radical. You have to offer some radical praises when it comes down to these things, because God alone can take you through. So guess what now, my brothers and sisters, my brethren, I am asking that when the people set up themselves against you like what Joseph brothers had done, I am asking you that only don't even try to fight back, but just praise your way through. Say, God, who pray your way through, praise your way through, who offer worship to God. Because guess what? You see, worshiping God and praising God, He can take us through some situations. He can take us through some problems. I can tell you, I am a big testimony of that, because personally, at one point in life, there was a turmoil in my life. I was turning upside down, and the Lord had made me whole again, because I had sit down and I have listened to His word, and I, even though He talk to me and at times I start to say, I say to myself, so I try to do the talk, the all way God has said to me, because me not see nothing come to pass. So guess what now? You see, when you not see nothing come to pass, still praise God. Me not see nothing come to pass, me not see nothing come in place. And me did and me a doubt God's word, and me a doubt Him, and me a doubt whatever Him a whisper to me. Me I say, God, this is not you. I'm sitting on my mind and this and that. But guess what? At that time, God speak. He speak. And me keep on doubting it, and me a doubting it, and me a doubt it, and me a doubt it. And me keep doubting it. Right? And God just been speaking to a point where I feel like I'm no Thomas, I'm no Thomas. And I said, boy, brother, me doubt God. I mean, I said, this is not it, because I mean, I tell you, I know like say me just get up and want to doubt Him, you know. The problem is me just feel things, I just know that things not going my way, and me just no want to do this, and me just no want to do that. But even though God I speak to me and Him tell me positive things, I just want to remain negative, because the things that are showing is just negative. So me start to become negative, me start to gravitate to it. So it kind of tear me apart. It put me in a place of depression. It put me in a place where I was worried over the situation. It put me in a place where me just no want to have nothing to do with God. But when God speak, I realized that, and I remember a Sunday when I went to church and He started to talk, because there was a time for some months now, for maybe I could actually say nearly a year, He had referred to me as His broken soul. And mother hear my talk and sitting and Him say my broken soul, and I may hear my talk, but it's like me no want to respond to Him, because me want things to go my way, and Him call me and Him say, yo, me I say to myself, so you call me, so you must make sure that things go my way. You understand? And see to it that everything where we need supposed to be supplied, because you say you go supply when needs them. You understand? And all of that. So in that things, I start to say, no, this can't be real. I mean, not go do this, I mean, not go do that. I don't want hear from God, I don't want God, I don't want another talking. Yes, me just be real. Me be genuine right now. Because persons would say that, oh, you lucky stuff, you know, want if you did that, but you know, want hear from God, and you know, want God to chat to you and them something. I'm just being genuine. I'm just being real. I'm just being radical right now, because personally, you have to sit down and you have to talk to God rough sometime. You have to say, God, me don't want to hear from you, because you see how things are going in my life, and